And now that I'm doing the wellness, I take the vitamins and everything else and do, but I love the little sachet. I love the flavor. Oh, because when you see little powder and it's green, you're like, there, that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know what this is going to taste like. I thought, if it makes me sick, I won't take it anymore, Virginia. You'll never know
Right.
until you try. Even if you don't drink the whole thing, just drink a little, at least half of it. But I took a sip and I'm like, oh, this tastes good. I'm like, "Ngung, ngung, 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 ngung."
I know, right? Oh,
Yeah,
so
because you never
amazing.
know if you're going to like something until you try it. And my grandmother used to tell me, just because something doesn't look like what you think it should taste like, doesn't mean you're not going to like it. Have you tried that? No, then how do you know you don't like it? Because when you're a child, you go, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Have you tried it? No, then how do you know you don't like it? Try it.
exactly.
Take a little bite. And if you don't try it, you don't have to eat it. So now as an adult, it's like, okay, Virginia, you know what the deal is. Have you tried this? No. Well, then you know what to do. So I sipped it and I'm like, oh, this is
Oh,
delicious.
yes.
Okay. Can I have another
Right?
one?
Yep, it's awesome. And I love
Yeah.
that there's
And they're
not,
so easy because in the little jars, you go, and I drink it out of the little jar. I don't
Mhm.
even pour it in the glass, just drink it out of there and it's done.
I love that. Makes it really simple.
And
There we
it's
go. We're
yeah,
done.
it's simple and easy and fast and you're done. You're done with it. It's not like, oh, well now I gotta do this and now I gotta do that. And it's like, no.
Yeah, I know. And then just go on with your day, right? Like
Yeah,
that's, yep,
exactly. And you
yep,
take care of everything in the morning and that's
yep.
it.
I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you're welcome.
Okay, Kristen, give me your little background and how you got introduced.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I haven't really used essential oils much, so I'm very excited about this. How I got connected, I got your emails. Like, I've been getting them for quite some time, and then I was like, well, I'll check it out.
Okay. Okay, well, good. So we're going to go over some fun stuff here with the oils and the program and all that we're doing. And Elise, you're on. I don't know if you can take your mask off and share your face or not. If you can't, I totally understand. She likes to take baths. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think you're in the bath. But if you can, so oh, she's in the car. Like
I'm
she's
not in
always
the
in the car.
tub. I do like baths, but I'm not in the tub.
Okay.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm driving to teach a class at 7. I'm actually in Orem, not too far from
Oh,
you.
oh, I'll give you a wave.
But oh yeah. Hey.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're on.
Yes. I wanted to jump on and see. It's always good to hear it again and hear other people's experiences and just stay connected. So I wanted to be on.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And Sarah, you just jumped on. We're unmasking if you're able to undo your camera and give us a quick intro, your background with
doTERRA.
14-day challenge.
Okay.
And
So I signed up for the 14-day challenge with you a while ago. And I I've been hit and miss. I still haven't taken the green packs. I take my daily I'm a doTERRA lover, so I still take my daily vitality and all that, but I never jumped on the bandwagon still. So I've just been still like watching you and like watching the
have
people.
you tried it?
No.
Okay, it's funny because Virginia was just saying how you might have to go back and watch the beginning of this because she was just sharing with her like was it your mom or grandma saying like,
Yeah,
have you
my
tried
grandma.
it? How do you know you don't like it? You have to try it. She was just saying how much she loves it. So,
Okay, that's good
okay.
to know. Thank you, Virginia.
You're welcome. It's a great
Okay.
flavor.
It is
Great
a great
flavor.
flavor. And we'll talk a little bit about like why it's awesome. So hopefully if you have any questions, feel free. This is just an open class. Ask your questions. If you're thinking it, somebody else might be thinking it, or somebody that watches the replay might be thinking about it. So just feel free to ask. You can unmute or put it in the chat. And welcome, Joanne. We are just getting started. If you're able to keep your camera on, we love that. Elise is driving. She's not in the bath, but it's kind of for me is like the mask, you know, like I can't see your face. So I like seeing faces, but welcome. So we're gonna get started. This one's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna dive in kind of bits and pieces here and there of kind of how we usually do this class, but I also want to show you how you can use AI in your journey, because you have to realize like that's kind of where things are going. And so the sooner that we can embrace it, the better we can understand how we can integrate that as a tool in our life as well. So Wellness Made Simple, the point of this class really is to help us to simplify um, feeling good, right? And truly being healthy. So it's not about weight. It's not about what we look like so much on the outside, although sometimes that outside, what we look like can be a manifestation of what's going on the inside sometimes. But a lot of people had answered the poll in the Facebook group. And so if there's anything beyond what came up in the poll, so a lot of people are talking about stress and sleep and energy and better focus, as well as, let me find the other one, as well as motivation, focus, clarity, mood, immune support, detoxing. Then we have a bunch of other ones. Okay, healthy eating. Okay, so we're kind of all over. Like there's a lot of things that like people want to maybe know about. Um, the thing that I love is kind of always coming back to this wellness, these wellness blocks. Like the foundation is nutrition and digestion. No matter what we're doing, like our body was made in a way that we need nutrients. That's what builds our cells, and those cells build tissue in our body, and that those tissue are put together into organs and organ systems. And so coming back to that cellular level, knowing that we need to have the macronutrients, which are your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, as well as the micronutrients that are found. A lot of those are in plants. They might be found in some animal, food. There's different ways of getting those, but we need these nutrients. And then phytonutrients, there's like all these little micro things that we need little traces of, right? And then digestion, the ability for our body to take those nutrients, break them down, and then to absorb them. That's foundational. If we are off in that space, you're going to see a lot of other things going wrong in your life and your body. And you might not see it initially, but over time, especially as we age. So I think most of us here are not in our teens or younger. So, but you start seeing the breakdown as you age even more. And it goes faster and faster. You start seeing that. And so that's where we really like to say, oh, wow, I'm drawing on this. That's cool. I don't know how to undo that. But that's why in like the 14-day challenge, which some of you are doing, some of you are joining or may watch the replay and don't know what that is, but it's really focusing on foundational things that will move the needle the most over time with consistency. So the thing about us is we're often wanting a quick fix, and that's a lot of times where we've gotten into problems, is because we want this pill or this really fast solution to a problem, when often the solution comes from consistency over time. And we have to have patience with that and setting up habits that will support that. So that's in the 14-day challenge. For those who don't know what that is, there's just a few things that we focus on. And if we run it every month, it's for 2 weeks, and you're welcome to join the next one in July, because we're kind of on day 3 of the challenge. I guess there are still people popping in, but it's really to focus on nutrition, the digestion, and movement there. And what I believe is that when you have those 3 in place, that also kicks in to support your metabolism, right? But there's other things that impact us as well, our health, the amount of rest that we get if we're not sleeping well, because during the night, that's a lot of when the processing and the repair happen, the digestion. And so if we're not getting that rest, then our brain isn't being cleared of toxins. There's just the impact that comes, and then managing stress. So if we don't learn how to do that well, you're going to start seeing breaking down of different systems within our body, a slowing down of your metabolism. There's just so many things that happen when we're not taking care of that, or toxins. If we're exposed to toxins and we're not able to cleanse from those, we're going to have damage to our cells, cellular damage, informed self-care. So that's being able to know what I can use to take care of myself, right? Because we will have things that come up. What do I do when I see a rash break out on my arm, right? Like informed self-care. What are my options? What can I do? And fun thing with AI is like you can take a picture of that now and it can give you a pretty accurate idea of what it could possibly be. And if you know, okay, well, I have certain things on hand in my home that are safe, I can try that as a first go-to. And then proactive medical care is knowing like, when do I actually need to go out and seek uh, help from somebody beyond, what I could do in my home, right? So I love this because it kind of gives me a place to start with people. If someone's major problem is sleep, like I can't sleep, we want to help you to start sleeping better, but then also look at your foundational pieces. Are you not sleeping because you're not getting the nutrients that you need? Are you not having like a very good sleep hygiene? Do you not have a room set up in such a way that you could sleep very well? So there's lots of different paces that you could go with it. But we're going to focus on this and just kind of quickly on doTERRA system. So if you're not familiar with doTERRA, go ask ChatGPT or go Google it. But doTERRA's been around for over what, 16 something plus year 18. I don't know where we're at now. But largest essential oil company, but their number one product actually is their supplements.
Oh, I
So
didn't.
go
That's
ahead.
good. Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yeah, number one product. The thing that most people reorder are their supplements because of how they feel when they use them, and also knowing that because a lot of people have come in from the essential oil space and have chosen doTERRA because of their quality and purity. And so there's that trust built with them, and they do that with their supplements as well. Because it can be very confusing, like what should I use? What should I buy? When there's so many options out there, and can you trust the company? And so that's where when you have that trust and you have that kind of quality, that's another reason why people purchase from doTERRA. So a couple of major problems that we have. Number one, big problem, nutrients. Like even trying to get the nutrients just from food is hard because of the lack of nutrients within our food now. So one example of that is like in the 1950s, there would be you'd have to have 8 oranges to get the same amount of vitamin C, right? So for me, if I had to 8 times everything that everything to get the same amount of nutrients, that's a lot of calories and that's a lot of eating. And it's just not possible to get that, right? A lot of people are trying to eat organic and try to, eat, grow some more of their food or eat local, which is awesome, right? Like get that in your food. But it's filling in the gaps where we have gaps, and we do have gaps. And I love this quote because it's just that whole idea of if you're seeing health issues right now, they usually there was like an upstream thing going on. And I learned this kind of in a different way, analogy, kind of comparison is that I was doing some work with a nonprofit. It was a homeless shelter, and there's like a huge problem with low income housing and people being homeless. And as I was talking to the person who was over the whole program, we were asking like, what could we do to help? And he said, a lot of people think like the biggest problem is that we don't have a lot of housing for the homeless. He said, actually, the biggest problem, and we can trace it upstream, is to not reading at grade level at a certain grade. Like, I don't know if it was like first grade or second grade. Like, it was predictable. Like, kids who were not reading at grade level at that age, that they had a much higher percentage become homeless, right? So he's like, if you really want to help, go upstream and work with kids, right? At-risk kids. And it's the same thing with our health. Like we could be putting band-aids on the problem. Let's build a whole bunch of houses that are and I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. But if we want to make the biggest impact is like going upstream. How can we go back to foundational wellness? How can we be getting these nutrients in our body? How can we making sure we're supporting our digestive system, right? And as mentioned, it's hard to get quality supplements. So this was the study done by Harvard Medical School that over 776 supplements that were contaminated. And that was back in, I'll have to pull up the report, but it was a long period of time. 2007 to 2000 or 2016. that's a big period of time. I think it's probably far worse than that now because a lot of people are buying their stuff online, right? And a lot of it's coming from China or other countries where we don't have the regulations in place. We don't have the money to test every single bottle that's coming into our country and that people are purchasing. So who knows what you're getting? And again, that leads to trusting the company, and is the company doing that kind of testing and being transparent about it? And so that's another reason why I love doTERRA, because yes, the quality of their essential oils, that's what's helped make them become the largest essential oil company in the world. But also with their supplements, the number one product they have is because they hold themselves to that same standard, and they will give you like, here's the testing that we do. Here's where we source these from. So I love that. And then the second biggest problem is just being sedentary. And so that's why a lot of people have been coming to the 14-day challenge because they know they need to be moving their body more, but sometimes we just need that little extra push. And it's not a lot that we have to do. Even 10 minutes consistently, or doing so many steps a day, like just getting our bodies moving. As we start feeling better, our metabolism speeds up, we have more energy, and then we feel better about ourselves and we start making better choices. And it just becomes this beautiful domino effect or ripple effect that happens when we do that. And so one of the solutions that doTERRA has come up with is they call it their foundational wellness program. And so this is where you're able to get your vitamins, minerals, and greens, your omegas, and your probiotics. So you're feeding your body some of the things that most of us are deficient in. And with the probiotics, it's not just about digestive and gut health, but it's like whole body probiotics. And so people like Virginia, who's been taking this drink and it tastes good, it actually tastes really yummy. What's different about this is the delivery system. So you actually will absorb more. Studies showed that, depending on what nutrient it was between like 4 to 6 times more absorption. And so they're not putting high percentages in here. It's because of, it's called the liposomal delivery system. So they have a way with using wild orange essential oil that actually drives those nutrients and makes them more bioavailable, and we have a longer retention of those. So our bodies have a longer period of time to actually pull and use those nutrients when it needs it throughout the day. Because generally within an hour, if you're taking traditional normal supplements, there's about an hour period where your body can take those and use those. And if they don't, then they just get peed out. And so you're wasting a lot of it because you might not need that thing right now. I have enough vitamin C right now, but I need it actually in a couple of hours, right? And so that's why this is really different. And then also they have methylated vitamins. If you don't understand what that means, you can go put it in ChatGPT or on Google to find out. About half of us have it's called the MTHFR gene mutation. And you don't know this unless you've done some DNA testing, but most people nowadays, if you have, you can go pull it up and see. And it just kind of slows down your processing. Unless you're using methylated vitamins, it just makes it harder or slower for you to process some of those B vitamins. And we need the B and we need the folate. Anyway, so it's just a beautiful system that they put into place. And so that's the first thing that people are using. And literally just open that package, mix it up, and drink it. And you're done. It's like check the box for like, ooh, I got these vitamins in my body. I know that my body needs it. And there's over 90 different ingredients. Like it's an amazing complex of goodness. And then our omegas. So we're thinking heart health, brain health. The number one cause of death is cardiovascular disease. I think it's over 800,000 deaths from cardiovascular disease. And they say about 80+% of those are preventable, right? If we would start being proactive with moving our body, getting the omegas that our bodies need. And so this is a really easy way to get the omegas, and they taste really good. You can actually bite them. I don't know if I have them in here. It's almost addictive to bite it. It's like a gummy. You don't have to bite it, but you can. It doesn't taste like fish. But we chew them. It just tastes really good. And so it's great for your heart, great for your brain. It can help lower your diastolic blood pressure. And it works pretty fast. So in the studies, like it was a 6-week study that there was this statistically significant reduction in blood pressure as well as resting heart rate, which is huge because that can save your heart having to pump so much throughout your lifetime, right? So I won't go into all of I have other slides, but let's go to probiotics. So this is another thing that we're learning is really important, is not just like our gut health, but overall probiotics, because it's called microbiome. We have this symbiotic relationship with these microorganisms that they help protect us. And within our gut, they actually can help break down food. They can synthesize, create vitamins for us, like vitamin K. So we need these. And oftentimes, because a lot of us have been used to processed or ultra processed food, or if you've been on antibiotics, that it starts destroying the beautiful fertile ground that should be within our gut to help break down those foods, to help utilize the food. Just so many things go on in our gut. So I'm not going to dive too much into that, but 80% of your immune system resides in your gut, and 90% of the serotonin, so that's your feel good hormone, is made in your gut. So think about there's kind of this epidemic of mental health, depression, anxiety, right? What if the foundational cause or problem of that is a gut issue, not a I'm lacking a drug issue, right? Or that my life is so terrible issue. It could be that you're missing a key component within your gut that's not producing the serotonin to help you to feel like the happy normal self, right? So those are just some things to be thinking about. And I love just some of the experiences from people as far as loads more energy when they're using the system, emotional stability and mental clarity. Cardiovascular age is 7 years less than my actual age. You can see her face, like the difference as far as inflammation and some of the kind of even scarring going away. But it's amazing how, like, when we use this and we start giving our body what it needs, where our bodies will start putting that, right? Because you might be different than me. Like, your body might be needing more support with energy, with in a certain, like, certain organs, and mine might need something else, right? But our bodies are very smart, but giving it the building blocks, it will start using that. So love that. Any questions about that? We call it the 2-minute health boost. It's just like rip, sip, drip. When people purchase that all together, you actually get a free bottle of peppermint. You get a shaker bottle. That's what Virginia was talking about, how, you can just shake this up pretty fast in there. And then it's like, check, I'm done. And I'm not saying go eat garbage after that, but you know that you're getting nutrients in your body. And what I found is that this creates a bridge, especially for people who are trying to make nutritional changes, who maybe grew up not eating the best. I know that was me. Like, it was processed food. That's what I knew. My vegetables were canned beans, right? Like, we didn't eat fresh stuff. I didn't know. I didn't even know how to cook it. But as I started using these supplements and starting having more energy, feeling better, I was able to make better choices and have the energy to learn some things that maybe I didn't know before. So that's, another awesome thing about it. Okay. Any questions about that? Go ahead.
Stacy, can I just add something really quick?
Yes.
So we've been on Lifelong Vitality forever and then switched over to Foundational Wellness.
Hold on, I'm just gonna prep that.
a
Like,
year.
Lifelong Vitality is the initial supplement pack. Sarah mentioned that she's taken that. Been
Yeah.
amazing for years and years and years. Now we have an updated formula that a lot of people are switching over to because of that technology and the changes that they made with it. So
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Should have prefaced that. So, and my husband is a huge believer. Like, he didn't want to take new vitamins when we first started doTERRA's original version, but then realized how much better he felt. So last week we were in Mexico staying at an orphanage, and my husband chose to take his Lifelong Vitality with him instead of the Foundational Wellness because he's like, it's going to be easier to take. I don't want to worry about mixing it up, blah, blah, blah. I took the Foundational Wellness because I did not want to have it. Anyway, so that was Tuesday. He went back to the old version, which is still great. But by Friday, he wasn't sleeping. By Saturday, His knees were aching. We got home Sunday night, and he said to me this morning, he's like, I need this freaking VMG to kick back in so I can sleep and my knees will quit aching. Like, even though they are really good vitamins, there's better. And I was just shocked at how, because like when Stacy was saying, it's just there for your body to use whenever it needs it. And we were working really hard at that orphanage, demolishing walls and framing rooms and sleeping on lumpy bunk beds and things. So we were more depleted than normal. So you might not see that shift as quickly. And something is better than nothing. But it was just interesting that he was just like, I got to get that kicked back in. Like, this is in saying how much. He's like, do you think 3 days? Do you think tonight I'll sleep better? I'm like, I don't know. But I'm sleeping great because I decided to take the not the mess, but just the extra bottle, the extra whatever, right, to mix it up and take it. But kind of worth it. So
That's awesome. I forgot you were going to that orphanage. Oh, how'd you like the showers?
yeah. So I didn't wash my hair the whole time because I was afraid it wouldn't rinse out any soap if I did.
Anyway, okay, sidetrack. We'll have to have a conversation about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that. It was in Tijuana. Like it's awesome.
Mhm.
It's good. Like kids are amazing there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Any questions about that system? It's if you take that bundle, it's $150. Best $150 for, I think of it as my food budget at this point, but we have 6 kids, 2 daughter-in-laws, and a grandson, and everyone's taking some form of something. Like it is amazing. And my 12-year-old, she is the one that like would probably drink it as her normal drink just all day long. She's always like, "Can I take some V&G? Can I take some V&G?" And I just have her do like half of the thing because it does. It tastes really, really good. Okay. Now, the cool thing with this is that we're going to talk about essential oils, especially for those. There's some that are new, or if you're watching the replay, we usually will have some new people who aren't super familiar with essential oils, maybe a little bit, but how to use them effectively. So for those who are using the foundational wellness bundle and purchasing that, I get it every single month, right? Every single month, you get a free essential oil that comes with it. So it starts stocking your medicine cabinet with the top 12, 13 oils that most people use, that you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck and going to help you in these different areas of, make sure, am I sharing my screen? Am I sharing? Where'd everyone go? There you go. Let me share my screen again. So let me show you that one. So $149.50 for that bundle. We invite people who are doing the 14-day challenge. Like we have a nutritional component to it. And some people who aren't using it are doing hydration, right? Because being hydrated, nutrients will do their job better if you're hydrated. So we have people start there, but oftentimes people will then up level and they will try the foundational wellness bundle. And there's a 30-day money back guarantee. Like if you don't feel different, if you don't feel like you're getting the value, you can return it, get your money back. That's why I say like give it a try. I love that they trust it so much that they're willing to do that. But you can see that there. And here's like the visual of filling your cabinet with these beautiful oils that we're going to talk about how to use them effectively. So, oils made simple. This is going to be speed dating session on the top 12. And I want to make sure that I cover like the things that are most applicable for you. So if I miss something, they're like, hey, I want to know about this. Like I'm dealing with this health issue, or somebody in my household is, and I haven't heard something of a solution here. Like make sure that you ask because there most likely is. And then I'm going to jump in and show you how I'm using AI to help get answers faster than before. So let me actually, we're all the way to June. So in June, this is huge. So probably the most loved and most useful oil is frankincense, the king of oil. If you have any like problem and you're not sure what to use, we always say you could probably use frankincense for it. This is the oil that's going to help with brain support. So it actually passes the blood-brain barrier. And there's very few things that will do that. So if you're needing some cognitive support, brain support, cellular support, it helps your cells know what to do. So cells should be able to repair themselves. It can help them to do that. It also, when they should die off, it's called apoptosis. That's another thing that cells should naturally do. When you start getting mutations of cells and they're not dying off, like you start getting these tumors that are growing, that actually has shown to help trigger that apoptosis and then also to replicate. So our cells, there's turnover of cells. So our skin cells take so many days to turn over. Our blood cells, it's about was it 90 days? 90 days for every single blood cell in your body to be brand new. So as you start using the foundational wellness bundle, you'll start seeing changes like initially, but then you'll also like give it time because you are building new cells with amazing nutrients. It's like, what would your home be like if it was like some of the best building blocks, or if you're building it with like McDonald's food, right? Like there's going to be a difference over time of what you look like, feel like, and how your body responds. Frankincense is, if nothing else, this would be the oil I'd say get in your home, fall in love with it. I use it every day under my tongue. I've had some different health issues, and I found that this has been really helpful and supportive. It's great for your emotions. So if you have low mood, deal with anything like that, this is your thing. And this one is the one that comes free this month. So if you purchase the foundational wellness bundle this month, that one will come free and the peppermint will come free. So this is just a way to stock. Now, if you want to purchase frankincense itself, it's $79 is the wholesale price. So that's why I'm like, ooh, get on it this month, get your bottle of frankincense. And it is a 5 milliliter, so it's the smaller one, but it's still like totally worth it. And for those who are
I bought that nano stick or whatever because on social media or something you said, "Oh, it's frankincense month. Like, get the stick." So I bought it. I haven't used it still, but I
oh
bought
my
it.
gosh, pull it out, set it on your counter. This is so amazing. So it has frankincense and also niowood in it.
Mhm.
And yes, I will put it around my eyes because like I'm getting older and I'm starting to see like fluctuations in like how I see. And then, you get little whatever wrinkles. But I'm really concerned, the whole skin cancer thing and also for breast support. So this is one that I have in my bathroom. It's sitting on the counter after a shower. That's what I use, is I will put that on.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So use it. It's amazing. Okay. Um, July, so that next month is Deep Blue. You'll get that one free. And this is think pain support, think your Bengay, but all natural. Professional athletes, college athletes, all of my athletes, we use this stuff. Just put it on your joints, on your muscles. If you have tension in your neck, it's just an easy go-to. It's not going to kill your liver like taking a bunch of ibuprofen or Tylenol or something like that, right? Tea tree comes in August. So this is if you have bacterial, fungal, it's antiviral, it's great for cleaning, it's great for soothing skin. We just have it, we just think it's like first aid type one, but it's also great for blemishes for, if you get acne, if you have kids that get those blemishes, it's good for that. It's cleaning out wounds, super helpful. And if you have anything, you guys can always shout them out or put them in the chat if you're like, oh, I use it for this, just help other people know how you're using it. Now, On Guard is the #1 selling blend. So tea tree there's actually a plant and you get tea tree oil from that plant. On Guard is a blend of multiple different plants of oils that they've put together. And why I love essential oils, which I didn't talk totally about like what they are, but they just come from plants. They're just oil sacs that reside on these plants. And we found through experience, because they've been used for hundreds, thousands of years. But then we also have science to verify and say, oh, this is what's in here. And this is what it's being shown to be good for. So doTERRA put together essential oils that are good to support your immune system. So it's a great defense against illness. It's great to be able to use this, it's bug season, like everyone's getting sick. I can use it that way, or I'm getting a sore throat. Like there's multiple ways to use this to help support your immune system. And these little letters up there, the A, T, and I, There's 3 different ways you can use oils. One is aromatically, so that would be breathing it in or putting it in like a diffuser and having it diffuse in the air, so you're breathing it in. Topically would be putting it on where it makes sense. I have a headache, I could put it on for a headache. If it's, my joints hurt, I could put it on topically. And then some of these oils you can use internally. Not all of them, but you'll want to look on the bottle. I don't have one right here. It has a supplement fact label on there, and it will tell you if you can use it internally. And so this is one you can use internally as well. And so I will put a couple drops under my tongue. I might put some in my water, gargle it, swallow it. My kids know the routine. Like when they start feeling something, we have a routine, and On Guard is always part of it. In October, as we're changing time, hopefully we, don't do this for much longer where we switch times or whatever. It's the worst. But there's something to aid you in sleep. So if you have a challenge, so thinking about that wellness pyramid, right? Sleep is a really important thing. And if you're having trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, then over time, your body is aging faster than it needs to. And other things can happen from not getting enough sleep. It ages your brain. Uh, so this is a great one if you have challenges with that. You can put it in a diffuser, have it on your nightstand. You can put some on your pillow. My 12-year-old has her whole routine set. She's so consistent with it, but that you'll get free. Breathe is our respiratory blend. So anybody deal with like congestion or allergies or stuffy nose, asthma, just think respiratory stuff. This would be your go-to. Like this, put a couple drops in your hand, breathe it in, open those airways. You can rub it on your chest, like, Vicks Vapor Rub, but it's not petroleum based. You can put it in a diffuser. It can help with snoring. It can help with sleep if you're having a hard time breathing, right? Adaptive would be in December. So this is our anxious feelings. Think December, like it's one of the best months. I love the holidays in December, but it can be stressful. So it's coming in December. And this just really helps to naturally reduce those anxious feelings. When you breathe in oils, there are actually receptors that impact your limbic system. So that is what controls your mood and emotion. So when you breathe in essential oils that are pure and they're potent, they can have a very profound and fast impact on your mood and your emotions. So this can just easily help you to de-stress and be able to handle life better. Digest Zen comes in January. So it's a digestive blend if you have challenges with anything digestive. MetaPower is our metabolic blend that comes in February for free. This would be if you have sugar cravings, if you need help with metabolic health issues, blood sugar regulation, that would be the go-to there. And then I'm going to jump back to lavender. Comes in April. Oh, did I miss February? I don't know. Anyway, lavender is one that you'll get for free. Most people have used this, smell this. You see lavender flowers. This is great for skin support, soothing, irritations on the skin, but also emotional, very calming, great for helping with sleep. Copaiba is one that comes in May. And this is one, again, that I use every day because it helps with nerve pain, nerve regulation. I have neuropathy. And so it's been really helpful for that, but it's great for pain, headaches, migraines, tension, joints. But it's very, very gentle. So it's great for kids, aging parents, So that's kind of a quick rundown of some of the top essential oils. Oh, March was lemon. So lemon is another one that you get. And this one we put in our water. It's a natural detox, so it can help you get a lot of the chemicals that we're exposed to out of our body, support our liver and kidney and some detoxing functions there. It tastes great. Okay, so let's see. Are there any questions about the foundational wellness bundle or about essential oils in general or anything specific like, hey, what would you do for this? Or how do you use that? Anything?
I kind of do, please.
Okay.
I would like to say something. A year ago, my Aunt Shelley Varble, she put me on doTERRA.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd been telling me to take it forever and I didn't listen. And so like a year ago, literally to like the day I was in the hospital, I ended up like stage 4 liver failure, like ready, like I needed a transplant right then. I blew up. I was 278 pounds just water retention.
Ah.
Horrible. It was so bad. So I got home from the hospital and then I ended up going back. But anyways, I came home. She put me on doTERRA and she was just like, give me a credit card. You're doing this. Like, not an option.
Yeah.
And since then I'm no longer, I'm in stage 1. I do not need a liver transplant. Everything has been like amazing. My life is completely changed. I didn't get periods either anymore. I'm 43, 42. I'll be 43. And I hadn't had a period for like 10 years. I started having periods again. I call her every month and yell at her for that though. I'm like, thanks.
Like, but that's how it should be, right? Like, oh my gosh, I'm working again.
Yeah. I'm so bad at you, Aunt Shelley. Oh, that's my experience with doTERRA, and it's amazing. And everybody that I'm around, I'm like, you need to take it. I don't sell it. Shelley's the one that keeps telling me, get involved with Stacy, get involved, like, reach out to her and stuff. And I'm like, I tell everybody about it, and they know me too, and they've seen the complete change my life, how much of a difference. So a lot of my family has started taking it and stuff. I still don't sell it, but I should.
Well, and that's funny because I was the same way. I mean, Elise introduced me to essential oils. I was in a hayfield flying kites, had allergies, and she gave me something. I didn't even know what like essential oils, never heard of it. Okay, let's try it. And it worked, but I was dealing with health challenges. I was dealing with migraines and miscarriages and joint pain and low mood, like, and I'm in my mid early 30s. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And traditionally, you go to the doctor and they were putting me on medication after medication and try this. And I had surgery for this. And then I was starting to get like infections in my teeth and had like root canals and like all of this thing. And I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting to the root cause, right? Like there's something going on. And I just keep putting a band-aid on it. And so I was the same way. I was like, totally changed my life, totally changed how we take care of our health. I've become more educated on just the whole healthcare system, that it's not really about health, it's more like symptom management. And it's a great like emergency system. Like if you break your leg, like I'd rather be in the United States than somewhere else. But as far as like foundationally doing those things that will bring true health, we're not very good at that. And so the shift, when we shift our mindset, and then we do have some quality, trustworthy products, right? Because there's just so much out there. It's hard to know, like, am I just being sold something? Who can I trust? And we bring that and we brace that. I was like you, like I had a hard time not sharing it, like with my sister-in-laws and my friends and my mom, and that was my initial thing. And I told Elise, like, I will never, like, I have my own business, like I don't know, yeah. And I didn't know anything. I felt like I'm from the United States. I'm your traditional health person. Like I eat like an American, I look like an American, I act like you know what I'm saying? Like, but then with the shifts, it was hard to not think, okay, there's people struggling out there. It's hard not to share. So not saying like you have to do this as a business, but it is when you have that gift, it's hard not to share it with people at least that you love, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you for sharing that. That's huge.
Thank you for teaching Shelley and Shelley
Yeah,
teaching.
and Shelly's the same way. She has such a big heart, just such a good person. Um, let's see, I'm just looking in the chat. Are you able to place in the chat the name again? Did it help with weight loss as well? Who was that, and remind me what we were talking about.
And it might be the foundational wellness. Was it foundational?
Foundational wellness.
But she was
Oh, was
Stacy.
it you with the weight loss as far as the water retention with like your liver issues?
It was that, and I started like actually eating. I didn't eat and I started to like actually count calories. I started walking again. I was on oxygen for 6 months. It was awful. It was so bad. It was bad.
I can't even imagine. Like,
I went from like running marathons to like dying to like being on oxygen and 278 pounds. It's been a night.
yeah. So I am glad you're in a place that's better, right? And that you're on this path that is better. That's amazing. Okay. So as far as getting started, we recommend people like if you can start with the foundational wellness kit, that's where I recommend people starting there, because I know that's going to get to the root cause of most challenges that people face. But sometimes people would rather start with essential oils and know, like, okay, I have, this I'm dealing with. Well, that's okay. That's also a great path that you can get a kit of oils and start working on those things. And as you start feeling better, like things get better, it's just a beautiful thing. So let me share my screen and see. So this is where I recommend most people get the foundational wellness. And then each month that you do it, you're just going to be adding to your stash. So you're going to be stocking your oils. If you need them now, then there's small kits that you can get that have the top 10-ish oils in them. Just depends on what your budget is, because we want to make sure that this is sustainable for you, not just like a one time, oh, okay, I tried that, I'm done, right? Like we want this to be sustainable. And so that, if that just means like, what little piece can I do to help with my health? Awesome. Then start there. And for those who have not heard about our 14-day challenge, just reach out to me or somebody that's doing it. They can help you to get connected with the group and get the challenge guide, and just kind of start implementing some of these small habits that will make a big difference over time. Now, anybody want to see any other questions before we move into AI? It seems like so opposite from doTERRA and plants and things that coming from like the earth to what I think is like
When I
robots or something.
when I got the email and it said I was, oh, I'm totally joining this one.
Yeah, let's check this out. Okay, so I'm gonna have to share a different screen in just a minute.
My cousin called me twice, so I'm gonna go. My face will go away for a second.
Okay, you're good. Let me just kind of an introduction to this. And so natural things can be a game changer, but also the world it's kind of like, I think most of us are old enough to at least know the time back before the internet.
Yes.
Right. Back in the time, like maybe you didn't have one, but you know somebody that did, like the rotary phone, like plugged into the wall,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So there was a time before the internet, and it completely different. Like how we learned and how, like what we knew and how we did things was completely different, because our access to information was so limited, right? We had to go to the library to get a book to learn about something. If you wanted recipes to cook something, you had to learn from somebody that knew. That might be a friend, a grandma, a mom, or something. I mean, we would have these events where we'd come together and people would like show us how they bake bread, because there wasn't like a YouTube video. There was no YouTube, right? And there was no internet to just look up the recipe. Like we had to do it different, right? And then the internet came out and we started to do some things different, and people were contributing content and helping us to learn and have more access to things. And then we have the phone where like it's with us, it's on us all the time. Like we can look up things. Our challenge now is that we have so much information, is weeding through it, right? And like, what can we trust? How can we use that? And a lot of times that's where our healthcare system came in, is because like with doctors, they were educated and trained like on things we didn't know. Like we had to go there. We're like a shot in the dark. Like I don't know what that thing is. Like, is this like life threatening or not? But now we have access to like, oh, well, I can do some research before I go to the emergency room for like a rash that, oh, I could just put something on and it's fine. I'm not dying, right? So things have changed. And so we have the internet that came in, we have the phones that came in, and now we have AI. And the growth and the adoption of AI has been far surpassing anything that we've seen. And how fast it's growing, as far as its capability, is faster than anything that we've seen. Like we just don't even comprehend what this could mean. And yes, there's going to be downsides. I'm not going to like go on that. And there's things that we need to watch out for. But as far as advances in possible cures and learning about things faster and being vet things, being able to find the research, find the resources, and like we just have so much available. And the more we can adopt that, and especially if we are centered on who we are and what we want in life. So for me, I really love natural things. I didn't used to, but I remember seeing my grandparents on like a plethora of medications. And I remember seeing my dad, who was a Vietnam vet, who would go to the VA, and it was like this experiment on drugs, right? And I remember one time when he was put on Prozac, and him like going through this episode of where he wanted to commit suicide, right? So I remember seeing this. I'm like, I don't want to get in that, right? I don't love the side effects. I don't love the addictions. I don't love that side of medicine. I want to be able to use it as sparingly as possible. But I know it's there, right? So I'm going to try a different way. So that's in my, does everybody have everybody used ChatGPT? Because I would like, that's probably the easiest one. I'm going to show you how to use that. You can get a free account to do that. And it's just kind of playing with it. So probably 2 years ago was my first exposure to it. And my kids were like, hey, mom, can I download this app? And we were in a restaurant. And so they pulled it up and we were just playing with it. It was just funny and fun, and we didn't quite get like what we were doing with it. My daughter, she had it write something for school really fast, and I was like, I can tell you didn't write that. And so she prompted it to write it for like a 12-year-old. Make this sound like a 12-year-old wrote it. And it was like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I still didn't get like where this is going, but that was my first exposure to it, right? And so now I use it every single day on multiple things. So for instance, just last Saturday, my husband was going to Costco. And so I just quickly was talking to it and saying, hey, my husband's going to Costco. I need a meal plan for the next week. Here's what I have. I want meals that are like this restaurant and this restaurant that are these types of meals. We don't like this and this and this, and we like this and this and this. And we only have this many kids here now, and this is what I have already. Like I was just looking in the refrigerator, and it came up with a very beautiful mapped out plan of what he needed to buy from Costco. There was only one thing on the list that wasn't actually in Costco, but it saved time. So thinking from a nutritional standpoint, like meal planning, prep, all that can be done a lot faster. My daughter, she's supposed to do an hour of working out for her softball team that helps her to become more athletic. And so she just used Chat GPT. She said, I don't have any workout equipment. I'm gonna, I want to do it at home. Here's what I have. What I need to do a workout. So she's 14 years old and just had this workout. She came back to me all sweaty. She sent me what it was that she did. And it was just like, how cool is that? One of my business partners in doTERRA, she's my daughter-in-law, Marley, she has someone who is using doTERRA products and is new to them. But she's a hedge fund manager in New York, super busy, doesn't have a lot of time, but is totally into like natural things and spends like thousands and thousands of dollars on stuff, right? And she wanted to know what's the difference between our foundational wellness supplements and what she's taking. I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to take a lot of research. But I told Marley, is my daughter-in-law, I'm like, you can actually just take and upload like the documents from doTERRA, because there's PDFs on all of those. Just upload them into Chat GPT, and then you can just ask her like what she's using, and then you could just feed it to that and just say, I need a summary to summarize like what's the difference, and you can tell it to be like, I don't want you to be biased either way. I just want her to know what might be best for her and why, right? And then I also asked her, I said, well, if she's more into podcasting, you can actually use it's called Notebook LM, and you can get a free account to that. And you can feed in all these documents. Like if you're researching something, you're like, I want to learn, for instance, about liver failure, stage 1 liver failure, and how I can support my health to kind of keep moving forward, right? And you can go out if you have documents or if you have websites or if you have references or certain doctors you're following, whatever, you can put all of that into Notebook LM and say, can you like analyze this and just give me the most important things, and it will give it to you in a podcast format. It talks, it is so cool, and it's like two people talking in a podcast, so it's kind of entertaining, but it's educating you on the stuff that instead of spending hours reading through all that. Amazing. So these are just some like things in the past like week that I've used. I have Epstein-Barr virus. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but like if you get mono in your teens, it's a virus that it never leaves your body and it will go dormant, But for some people, it will flare up, and there's things that help cause it to flare up, whether it's stress, lack of sleep, certain foods might trigger it, and there's like it's annoying. And so like I've been researching a lot of that and like what are natural things to support preventing flare-ups. Anyway, so there's just lots of things that you can do. But so thinking from a like if you are a customer of doTERRA, we used to have to get the like big fat book, big fat book, because there's companies that pulled the research together to show you like, oh, okay, if you have, for instance, the oil coriander, what would I use it for? Right? So that's one way that we used it. The other way would be, I have this health issue. Maybe let me pull it up. This one is a little bit different, where you could look up the health issue and it would tell you like what oil to use and how to use it. And then in here, it gives you a bunch of research backing why they're suggesting it, right? So big fat books that we would have to use. And then also then move to an app. So you could purchase an app where you could look that up. Maybe you had an oil on hand and you just weren't sure, like, how do I use this? Or what can I use it for? It's just sitting on my dresser, how can I use it, right? Now we have AI, which has access to everything on the internet, and you can program it in the way of, I have lavender essential oil from doTERRA. How can I use this? And it will tell you. And or you could say, hey, I am having challenges sleeping. And I have these oils from doTERRA on hand. You could take a picture of them if you don't want to like type it out. But I use the voice command on it. So I'm just talking to it now instead of, because we're going to end up getting rid of keyboards and texting. It will probably be mostly a lot of talking. And so you could do that and like, hey, could you help set me up a protocol so that I can start sleeping better? And I also want some other natural things that might help, right? So it might say, hey, turn your lights down or turn the temperature down or like get some blackout curtains or turn off the blue light, red light, I don't know, get some glasses, right? Like, so it might give you these things. And maybe you try and like, hey, it's not working, or I'm having a hard time sticking to it. And you go back and it will give you some feedback, like, and so that's just a little bit of going back and forth on this. Now let me show you maybe just an example of this, or somebody give me a question, and let me share my ChatGPT. Why I say ChatGPT is because the most money is being invested, kind of the first, like the quick mover leader here. It's free. You can do it on your phone. But if you pay the $20 a month, holy cow, best $20 of my life. It just limits you, like you might get kind of throttled back if you have the free version, you can only do so many chats per whatever. And the other free one that is really good as well, it comes through X, through Twitter, is Grok. So those two are probably the most user friendly, both have free versions to use. Let's get my chat. Okay. So how this works, you can do it from your computer, or you can download the app on your phone, and you'll have access to, like, your history is over here, like all these, and you can keep them or get rid of them. If you have the paid version, you also get memory. So it will start learning things about you if you want it to, and it can remember certain things. So my AI knows like my name, knows what's important to me, what I value. It knows like my religion, where I live. Like I want it to know things about me so that it will help give me things that I'm looking for. But I also sometimes will tell it like, hey, I want you to be critical, very critical thinking. And I want you to find sources that are counter to the way that I'm thinking, because I don't want to go down like this rabbit hole and just like, oh yeah, everything that I like is right? Because that's kind of what you get in social media. You look at one post and you're going to get a bunch more. And then all of a sudden that's all you're surrounded by. I don't want to be that person. So you have to be kind of mindful of that. But here's just like some different things. I didn't know how to cook barbecue chicken. How long? So just look it up really fast, super duper fast. I needed to look up a quote about artificial intelligence that Sam Altman had said somewhere. Like I didn't know where it was at. Uh, let's see. But let me give you some things that you could ask. So I think a lot of you are. And what you will get better at is prompting it. So initially when I started, it was just like a short little prompt like this one, for instance. I'm going to put this in. What are natural solutions for low energy and brain fog in the afternoon? Okay. So I'm going to ask that and it's going to generate, and this is going to be tailored to me because it knows me. Now I might say, if I knew something about one of my customers, that I could tailor it to that person. So here we go. Natural solutions for low energy and brain fog in the afternoon. Hydration. Okay. Try drinking a large glass of water with a pinch of sea salt or a drop of lemon essential oil in it. Yeah. And there's like if you want the research behind this, then I could ask it. And I use this, if I put it like this, push on that, I can just talk to it. So could you give me the like research behind this? I want sources. I want you to cite sources why you're recommending these different things for like hydration, like the lemon oil and the pinch of salt, like why, and give me the sources around all of these. Can you do that? And so, because sometimes it might give you some like you want to trust, but also verify, right? And some of the things it won't matter, but there might be things in your life where it will matter. You want to make sure that it's like accurate information. So hydration, even mild dehydration, impairs attention, working memory, alertness, replenishing fluid, blah, blah, blah. And then you can click on these and it will take you to the source, right? Now, what did we used to do? We would go put this in Google and then we would kind of, oh, let me click on that one. And then I'm going to go read through that. And then like, oh, nah, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to go to the next one. And then so this can save you a ton of time, be a lot more productive. And I promise, and there was just a study done that said that people who were AI literate are earning 56% more in their jobs. Like they haven't changed jobs, but in their jobs, they're more valuable to their employer just because they are aware of this. They can become more productive. And the more you know, the more likely you're going to keep your job because you will know how to use AI, or you can go and get a different job and you will be more hireable because of that. And I'm using it in my business all the time, right? So snacks, whatever. If you want specifically things about like doTERRA products, you could be asking, like, here's a prompt. And these are just simple prompts. You obviously can give it your background. So what doTERRA oil supports gut health and how should I use them daily, right? And where this is pulling it from is generally from doTERRA's website, but it is giving me resources now because I had prompted it before. So this is coming from pubmed.gov. So that's a government research website, which has such awesome information, but it's like you're weeding through super boring stuff. Digest then. So it just came up with it. It tells you what's in it, how to use it, rub it on 1 to 2 drops clockwise after meals. There's a reason why clockwise, because of how your digestive system works. Like super cool. Peppermint would be the next one. And maybe you just have certain oils. You could take a picture of your oils and upload it. And right here is where you would upload a file or a photo, take a screenshot. If there was a website, a web page that maybe you wanted to learn from, maybe there's a certain person or business, whatever, you could put that in there and it would find the information on that site. And so then you could ask, well, here's what I have. What would be the best one to use for gut health, right? And how to use it. So super, super cool. Yeah. Any questions around this? We were just, my son was just here. He had gotten a concussion from water skiing and has been having migraines and whatnot. And then he was resting and then he wasn't resting and whatever, da, da, da. So he had a MRI and the doctor, well, if you need this for migraines, like he prescribed a medication. So we just look it up, right? He's like, I think I'll just stick with my peppermint oil. And he said he's taken 2 Tylenol in the past month. That's what he chose to do, right? But you can research that, and you can like the interactions, and there's just so much that we can do that makes it easier. This is like just scratching the surface. But my go-to now is if I have a question, I will ask ChatGPT instead of, because a lot of times we will just be in, what's the word for, like when we know we need to take an action, but we don't. Ambivalence, is that the right word? I'd have to ask Chat. But a lot of times we don't move forward. We don't do anything because we're just not sure what to do, right? And it's like the steps to figure it out seem so complicated. This can help to start the process so that we don't stay stagnant in something that maybe we're dealing with, physical health, emotional health, but even like relationships. There's been times when I've gotten text and I just don't know what to say. Like I am not like the best, most empathetic person. Like I have a huge heart, but how to say things, like at that. So I've even just taken copy text conversations and put it in there and like, what would be a Stacy way of saying this that is empathetic? Like I want them to understand that I hear them and I understand. And then it will come back and I'm like, maybe it sounds good. Sometimes there's just some back and forth. Like, that's what I want to say. How did you get that in words? Like that's how I feel, but I didn't know how to say it. Right? I have people who will ask me about essential oils, different things, different challenges, and I can take those and I can put them in. And it's stuff that I know, but it might take me longer to like type it out or whatever. And so it will do it faster, or I can just dictate it to it and say, okay, I'm being really long-winded on this, but how can you summarize this? Because it's a text. It shouldn't be like a book, right? So those are just a few ways that I'm using it. I don't know if you guys have ways that you've used it or any questions around AI, but AI is being implemented into everything. So that's why you're seeing, like you're doing the Google search and you see Gemini coming up because it's AI now is scouring that for you and giving you kind of a summary. It's in like our wearable devices that more AI and those things are coming in the wearables and the tools, and it's coming. So just be aware. The more you can be aware and kind of forward thinking of that, the more you can also avoid some of the dangers that may come with it. It was kind of like me and phones, giving it to teenagers before I understood what I was giving them, right? Like I didn't know that I was giving them access to, ooh, yeah, a lot of great stuff, but ooh, not a lot of great stuff, right? So I think that that's also what we have to be kind of forward thinking with AI. And the more that we're kind of in there playing with it, the more we can be aware, like the problems and challenges, as well as like the benefits that can come. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts on that before we wrap up? I'm 10 minutes over. I usually go only an hour. So anything at all. Okay. If not, I would challenge you. If you don't have the foundational wellness products, give it a try. Like 30-day money guarantee. That would be the place to start. And the best to get that price, because that's the wholesale price, you go through somebody who invited you or already has an account, because they have a referral code. So that gives you 25% off, and you get 25% off for a year. So just make sure that you go back to the person who introduced you if you don't already have an account. If you have an account, it's the rewards program that will give you the best discount, where you get the free oil also each month. And then I challenge you to start using AI with like health things. If you are having a challenge, start playing around. Like, hey, I want to start journaling, but oh my goodness, I'm terrible at creating a new habit of journaling. How can I make it easier? You're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Give me some 10 other ideas that might help me to become better at journaling. And so there's just so many ways that you could do this, but I would say just start playing around with it. Okay. All right, guys. Have a fun evening.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you.